Alright, highly recommenders today. Right here. Training. Carlson Gracie. Melbourne, Florida. Let's go check it out. Alright, highly recommenders. Big thanks to our sponsors, Flow and Roll. If you ever need rash guards, gis, go check them out. We're here at Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Melbourne, Florida, doing an interview with the one and only Marcus Buchecha, and just did his seminar. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe for more content. Alright, highly recommenders. Season 2, Episode 1. We are here at Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Melbourne, Florida with the one and only Marcus Buchecha. I do appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. I do appreciate you coming down here and doing the seminar. I had no idea that you lived here in Florida. How long have you been here in Florida?
Yeah, I've been here. It's been like 2 years since I decided to do MMA. So I'm here. So yeah, it's been like almost 2 years, a little bit more.
Man, 2 years. I've been trying to plan this, meeting you, and I could have just easily drove over to the East Coast. It happens.
I'm bad with like DMs and answering, but I saw like you were tagging me a lot. So
oh yeah, I found out that you were coming, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do whatever I can, send smoke signals up into the air if I have to. And like I said, I do appreciate taking the time. Now, is this what you're doing now? Because I know that you're not really in the jiu-jitsu circuit competing at IBJJF tournaments, and you're doing MMA every few months. So are you doing seminars in between?
Yeah, I mean, I like to teach seminars, so I put it, at least once a month I like to do one seminar to keep me like with jiu-jitsu somehow, with the gi. So every month I like at least one seminar I want to be like doing, traveling, so keeps me somehow in the jiu-jitsu, and that's why I try to keep in my schedule. So otherwise it would be like just training MMA, and when I'm on the mat with the gi on teaching, I'm still learning. So that's why I don't want to lose it.
I commonly hear that. I hear that from everyone that I've interviewed, is that teaching, you're still learning. You're learning actually a lot more by teaching than if you were just to be someone like myself listening to you trying to learn it.
No, for sure. I agree 100%, and that's why I think it's so important for me to keep on the mat. You don't lose the details. You keep like training and keep learning. So get some rolling in the gi too. Of course, I always try to roll and get some rolling, but on some of the seminar, you have to be teaching, thinking, and doing this. You know what I mean? So that's what I force myself to keep the gi on, even when I'm busy with the MMA training.
Even when you're training MMA, you still wear the gi? What? Or
yeah, I try as much as I can, but if I can't, at least I'll be doing once a month minimum the seminar.
Okay, understood. Now, all right, highly recommenders. Like I said, we're here at Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Melbourne, Florida, and we're here with the professor himself, Professor David Sutton.
That's it, man.
Perfect. I'm glad I said it correctly. I want to say thank you so much for having the highly recommended myself here for this seminar with Professor Buchecha, as well as allowing me to do this interview. Now, tell the followers everything a little bit about the school. What made you start a school here, and how long you been here?
Started a gym here because I didn't like any of the other gyms in town. But I wanted to be all honest. There's some good gyms in town. I wanted a family-oriented gym. I wanted a place where everybody can have fun. And I wanted it to cater to everybody else. I wanted to help people. And so all the stars aligned, and thank God that's what happened.
Well, listen, your school's huge.
Thank you.
Walking in here, I'm a little too blunt, but I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. But you filled up, this whole mat area was filled up, and as you see, you still got some hooligans or some fine jiu-jitsu people. But thank you for having us. When's your school typically open?
We are open pretty much every day, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock for morning classes. And then we start back up at 5:30 for jiu-jitsu. Then we got 6:30 strike and 7:30 jiu-jitsu again. We're a full jiu-jitsu and MMA gym. We got about three pro fighters and about 7 amateur fighters. Got a cage, so we're not just a jiu-jitsu gym.
No, I see. And real quick, where do we find you?
Melbourne, Florida, bjjmelbournefl.com. BJJ Melbourne FL on Instagram, and Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Team on Facebook.
All right. Well, Professor David, thank you very much.
Man. Thank you so much.
See ya. Now, stepping away from the jiu-jitsu, just the competition side of it, is there a big difference in your training now since you're more focused on MMA?
It's really different, the training for sure, but I use the same idea that I always had for Jiu-Jitsu. I like to do 2 sessions per day. So it doesn't matter what kind of the sessions. I don't like to go more. I think that's too much in the body. So that's what I did in Jiu-Jitsu. That's why I did it when I get my first world title. Twice a day. Actually, the first world title I was doing a little bit more because I was teaching, and when you teach, you learn and you train at the same time. But pretty much was like 2 hard sessions, and that's what I'm still doing. 2 sessions.
Now, you're a multiple world champion, IBJJF champion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a 13-time world champion?
Yes.
Wow.
Black belt.
Wow. A straight black belt?
Yeah, that's my black. I got 13 black world titles as black belt.
Wow. Now, was there a specific number that you were just going for, or were you just competing to compete to get as many as you could?
No, being honest, when I had 6, I was planning to get 8 and retire and go to MMA. That was 2015, but then I got hurt and I didn't want to retire, as like my last memory was being like getting hurt in the place that got so many good memories for me. And then I came back, got 2 more world titles, then went to 8. But I felt so good. I felt like a brand new beginning for me after the surgery. And I fought again, got 2 more world titles, then went to 10. Then at this time I was like, you know what? I can do something great. I can do something special. I can be the only one to do something that nobody ever done. To be the only one to win like 11 world titles. Then I fought 1 more, I got 11. Then I closed out the open weight with my friend, Leandro Lô, who passed away. And then I got 1 more world title, 12, and then I closed again the division with him. But this time I got the title, so then we went to 13. But wasn't really planning to go that far, you know what I mean?
Well, I like to hear that. You had set yourself up for a goal. You did the 8, and then you figured that you could still do a few more. You did it, and then your friendship and your camaraderie with Professor Lô just carried you the last three?
No, I mean, 2016, we supposed to fight the semifinal, but he didn't want to fight with me. He let me go. He let me pass without fighting him. So I went straight to the final. So, of course, I didn't want, but he said, no, man, like, you deserve it. It's your dream. I saw how hard you did to recover, and I don't want to fight you. I think you deserve the win. I think you deserve to be in the final, and you're going to win. So he gave up his dream for me to go to the final. I knew I could like lose to him. Probably would lose to him because I knew it would be like a toughest fight. And then he just let me go and go straight to the final. The following year, we met in the final. We had to fight. We fought. It was like one of the toughest fights of my life. I beat him by one like penalty. And then 2018, that's when he got hurt. And he couldn't fight the final, so that was the way that I pay back him, what he did for me in 2016. He let me go straight to the final. So then he got the title because of that. I was kind of paying back what he did to me. A lot of people think, oh no, Buchecha just gave him the title. No, I didn't. I was just paying back, you know. He did it for me first, but nobody saw because he didn't want to. He didn't say. People say, oh, why do you want to fight? He's like, oh, I got hurt. But he didn't, you know what I mean? He thought I deserved it more than him. He said, no, my time will come, but it's not now. Now it's your time.
That just speaks upon what kind of person Professor Leandro Lo was, as well as the kind of friendship that you guys had established and built over the years, training together.
Yeah, he was the thing that he does that, he did, and he never told no one, you know what I mean? So he doesn't care. It just was like something between me and him, and when I did, of course, the whole world saw. So, but it wasn't my intention, you know what I mean? So
understood.
So that's why I make sure that I tell everyone what really happened behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Now, I don't want to get too much onto that subject because I know he was a dear friend of yours, and he had just recently passed in Brazil due to in certain circumstances. But I did want to ask a question. How, and only one question in regards to that, but how did your guys' friendship come about? How did you guys become friends? Just naturally training, like competitions?
Oh, we know each other since like we were blue belts. He always fights my friends, you know what I mean? So that at first we were like big rivals. Really? And we fight against each other a lot as brown belt, and then black belt. Like 2011, lost to him, and we fought like a couple times. And then 2015, we had the first like camp together in Ibiza, and we got the airplane together, and we got sit next to each other. So it was like a 10 hours flight. We were like talking, and then after 1 week
together,
be like
family after 10 hours flight.
Yeah, exactly. And after like 1 week together, teaching, partying, and have a good time. So yeah, 2015, that when we became brothers. Okay. But we know since when we were like 17.
Wow.
But wasn't like friends, rivals actually.
Now, some people might not know this. I didn't know this because similar to Professor Renato Canuto, he's much younger than what he looks. How old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 32, yeah. Again, much younger than many assume.
Me and Renato, we are from the same hometown. You know?
Really?
So yeah, so when I
it
was
must
like,
be the water over there.
When I was like 18 years old, Renato was like a little kid, you know what I mean? So I saw Renato growing up. Actually, Renato's father, I remember, was one guy that helps a lot of people there in Jiu-Jitsu. I remember he paid like some registration fee for small tournaments for me.
I had not known that.
Yeah, so nobody knows, you know, but I remember like for a couple like state championships, he kind of like, okay, I'll help you.
Mr. Canuto?
Yeah, Valdir, Tio Chico, his nickname. So he was like the one. He did at the time for me, and he still does for a lot of kids there, you know. So he's a big name in the city for Jiu-Jitsu. He helps a lot of people.
That's amazing, dude.
I remember we are from Santos, São Paulo, right? São Vicente, actually. And we used to compete in Rio de Janeiro, like 6 hours drive, right?
That's a far drive
And
to compete.
and he always like set up like a bus and small vans for all the athletes, not even his students, but athletes from the area, to go together. So he helped a lot.
That's where the hospitality that Hinata must get it from. Because when I flew out to Vegas a few years back, Professor Hinato was the first person that I actually interviewed for this Jiu-Jitsu series. And literally, he's like, come on, come train with me, come hang out, and very welcoming and everything. His wife, I don't know how to pronounce her name, she was the one that super nice as well, but she was more like the enforcer, like, who are you? Who invited you? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah. And so I'm like, Professor Hinato did. She's like, okay, go ahead. Yeah. I'm like, thank you. But I had a really good time training with them and everything. Now, out of all the years that you've been competing and training, real quick, how long have you been doing Jiu-Jitsu?
20 years.
30 years?
20.
20 years?
Yes.
Doing
I started
Jiu-Jitsu.
at 12. I'm 32, so been 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did the family get you into that or just naturally?
No, actually my sister, she was the one, I was 12 years old, she was 15. She started doing because she saw in a TV show in Brazil, the main guy was training Jiu-Jitsu, he was a black belt. And she's like, I want to do Jiu-Jitsu. Then my father went to the gym to watch her, but ended up start doing as well. And then they kind of like, you should try. And then everybody got together.
So you're telling me right now that your sister started the family trend?
Yeah.
Did she get her black belt before you?
No, she quit as a white.
Oh.
But me and my father, we got the black belt together.
You guys both got your black belt together?
Yes.
Wow. Now, since that time, and which brought into this question, out of everyone that you competed with, who was the toughest? Because I know that's hard. You've competed with a bunch of people, but who is at least your top 3 toughest people that you've competed against?
Rodolfo Vieira, Leandro Lô, and Roger Gracie.
Roger Gracie?
Yeah.
Now, I saw that, just so everyone knows, I think everyone who's watching already knows, but I'm sure you didn't. I'm a huge fan of you. So I've watched all your matches, studied them from start to finish, and that one, the Roger Gracie match, is one of the matches that I was just really tuned in because it was slow, but it was very methodical. And
which one? The first or
the last one when he beat you. And now what was going through your head, but what was that pressure like going against him? Because you're a tough person as is, and it looked like there was he was controlling quite a bit.
I mean, the first fight I did better than him. That's why he wanted to do the second fight. Second fight he did better than me, and we're supposed to do the third one, but never happened. And it is what it is, Some days we do good, some days we do bad. First time was my day, second time was his day, and it is what it is. All good.
All right. Now, I don't care what anyone says about this. Me and my buddy Aiden get into this debate and argument all the time. To me, you're the GOAT. Because I watched that ADCC match against you and Gordon Ryan, and I feel like you were more exhausted than anything. And I feel like if you weren't exhausted, I'm not saying you could have handled him, because I don't want to get beat up or anything. But I feel like it would have been a much tougher match for him, because you were controlling pretty good. It just looked like you were tired. Can you give any feedback about that match?
Yeah. Life is not about ifs, right? If I'm not like, no, it is what it is. It was my 8th fight, was his 8th fight. So I was tired, he was tired. And he got the job done, you know. So, of course, we could do a better fight because it was 30 minutes of nothing, no points. So, of course, he beat me, but for sure we could do a better fight. And that's why one of the reasons that I think we could make another fight, because was kind of feeling that we could do more for the fans. But he beat me fair and square. Like, I mean, there was a referee decision, right? I mean, the referee gave me a penalty. By the end of the day, cost the fight. But it is what it is. He beat me, and well, like I said, we could do a better fight for sure for the fans.
Now, do you have any future fights coming up? Do you have a Hajar versus Buchecha number 3? Buchecha versus Gordon number 3?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you know, maybe it could make sense. Those only fights that I could come back to fight. But Roger is retired. He's not planning coming back. Gordon is like in good momentum for sure. Maybe we could do that fight, but that's not in my plans right now. But makes sense that I would come back to fight him for sure. But that's not in my plans right now.
Understood. What about ONE FC?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, you definitely have.
No, my only focus right now is to fight MMA, and that's what I'm training for.
So you're really focusing for MMA? No real plans to come back to the Jiu-Jitsu world competing-wise, unless it's someone like Gordon?
Yes, but now focus MMA, but if maybe it makes sense, a good proposition, and I would fight Gordon for sure, but just with he has to make sense, the fight. Money-wise, a good event, otherwise just for everybody to watch, I think, you know what I mean, that's no anymore, it's not about ego anymore, you know what I mean, I think we are professionals.
You've proved yourself.
Yeah, we are professionals, and the fight is a good opportunity for me, it's a good opportunity for him to make like a good money too, and of course to everybody watch it, so it's not just, we want to fight each other, so we are professionals, you know, if people want to watch the fight, they have to pay, you know?
Now, one of the last 3 questions that I wanted to ask is, you got your black belt along with your dad at the same time. How old were you, and who was it under?
I got my black belt. I was 20 years old. Was under Cavaca, but now my master is like Leonardo Vieira. That's I'm doing training under him since I moved to California. It's been like 12 years under Leo Vieira.
Under Leo Vieira?
Yeah, that's my master.
Cool. Understood. Now, to let you get back to your day, don't want to hold you up too much. I always ask this to everyone, but what is highly recommended to you, Professor Buchecha? That could be any place, food, submission, anything in the world. What is highly recommended to Marcus Buchecha?
To be on the mat, train hard, always give you 100%. When you're passionate about something, mix with hard work, and that's gonna be the perfect combination. And be outside too. When you're not on the mat, go to the beach, go surf, go do something else. Occupy your mind with different things, not just Jiu-Jitsu. That thing gonna help you even more on the mats.
Understood. Now, you're gonna be the first person I say that asked this question too. So, who do you think should be next or should come onto the show? Who do you think I should interview in the Jiu-Jitsu world?
Lucas Leite.
Lucas Leite?
Yeah. Or Leo Vieira.
All right.
Sure.
All right, Professor Lucas and Professor Leo, you heard Professor Buchecha. You're highly recommended to him. Come on the show. And thank you very much for taking the time to speak.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You made my day, my week, everything. Yeah. All right, highly recommenders. Stay tuned for more. Have a wonderful day. See y'all.